The detention cell hummed with an eerie blue luminescence as Annie stood perfectly still, her hands clasped behind her back. The metallic walls of the Zerathi warship seemed to pulse with their own sinister heartbeat, a rhythm that would have unnerved any ordinary human. But Annie was far from ordinary. Commander Massey entered the cell with the calculated grace of a predator. His towering frame filled the doorway, his obsidian exoskeleton gleaming under the alien lights. Forearms hung at his sides, each one capable of crushing steel. His compound eyes, multifaceted and ancient, studied the human woman before him with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. Human. His voice reverberated through the universal translator embedded in the cell walls. You have caused considerable damage to my fleet. 17 ships destroyed. 300 of my warriors dead. He stepped closer, and the floor groaned under his weight. I am told you accomplished this alone. Annie's expression remained neutral, almost bored. Her dark hair was matted with sweat and dust from the battle on Europa's frozen surface. But her green eyes burned with an intensity that seemed to unsettle even the alien commander. She was small by human standards, barely reaching 5.5 feet. Yet something about her presence filled the entire room. I'm told a lot of things, she replied, her voice steady. Most of them are understatements. Massey's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Confidence. I admire that in prey animals. He circled her slowly, his multiple eyes never leaving her form. You were protecting the mining colony, yes? All those families, those children. Very noble, very. Futile. The colony is evacuated, Annie said. They're long gone by now, perhaps. But you remain. Massey stopped directly in front of her, looming over her diminutive frame. And now you will tell me where they have gone, what defenses Earth is preparing, and how you destroyed my ships with nothing but primitive human weapons. Annie tilted her head slightly, a ghost of a smile playing at her lips. I don't think so. The commander's patience, already thin, evaporated. One of his massive arms shot forward, and suddenly a plasma weapon materialized in his grip, a sleek, deadly thing that crackled with barely contained energy. He aimed it directly at her chest. Disarm yourself of any hidden weapons. Now. Annie slowly raised her hands, palms forward, fingers spread. The gesture appeared to be one of surrender, of compliance. Massey's mandibles clicked again, this time in satisfaction. His warriors, watching through the transparent cell wall, relaxed slightly. The human was finally showing proper fear. That, Annie said softly, her smile widening, was your first mistake. In that instant, the cell's atmospheric composition shifted. Massey felt it immediately, the air growing thinner, his respiratory system struggling. But that wasn't the real threat. The real threat was the almost imperceptible glow beginning to emanate from Annie's raised palms. What? Massey began. But his words died as realization struck him like a meteor impact. Annie's hands weren't empty. They had never been empty. Because Annie herself was the weapon, the glow intensified. And Massey suddenly understood why one small human had destroyed 17 of his warships. The reports hadn't been exaggerated. If anything, they hadn't been detailed enough. Annie was a conduit, one of the rare humans born after the Cascade event, when a dimensional rift had briefly opened above Earth 20 years ago. She didn't need weapons. She was a living battery of quantum energy, capable of manipulating matter and energy at the subatomic level. You assumed I was disarmed when you captured me, Annie said, her voice now carrying an otherworldly resonance. The energy around her hands began to arc and dance, reality itself bending to her will. You thought taking my rifle and my combat knife made me helpless. But Commander Massey, I am never disarmed. I am the arms. Massey stumbled backward, his weapon suddenly seeming inadequate, laughable even. Outside the cell, his warriors were shouting. Alarms were blaring, but it was far too late. Annie had been waiting for this moment, had let herself be captured precisely so she could be brought to the command ship's heart. The colony isn't just evacuated, Annie continued, stepping forward as Massey retreated. Earth's fleet will be here in 10 minutes, and I'm going to make sure the ship can't run, can't fight, and can't warn the rest of your invasion force what's coming. The energy around her hands exploded outward in a controlled burst. It didn't harm Massey, not yet, but it passed through the cell walls like they were paper. spreading through the ship's systems like wildfire through dry grass. Lights flickered, engines whined and died. The massive warship groaned as its power systems failed one by one. Massey dropped his weapon, all four arms rising in a gesture that needed no translation. Surrender, fear, respect. Your invasion ends here, Annie said, lowering her hands as the ship went dark around them. Emergency lights casting everything in blood-red shadows. And you, Commander, are going to help me make sure your people understand something important. What? Massey's voice was barely a whisper. Annie's smile was neither kind nor cruel, it was simply inevitable. That humanity doesn't need to be a warrior species to be warriors. We just need to be pushed far enough. As Earth's fleet emerged from quantum jump on the edge of the system, Annie stood in the darkness of the alien ship, hands still glowing softly, and waited to go home.